start up. Hi, my baby boos. I'm your goddess Nesca. We are here with another loco suggestion video. Really safe? Something safe. What is safe? We're talking about weaponry.
Dropping SIG from being its primary pistol manufacturer, as it has now become impossible to ignore the issues with SIG's firearm, the P320. Now, since its debut, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about it randomly going off when you drop it, or going off randomly when you do nothing. And although there's been video proof of it, SIG has been standing its ground saying, I don't know what you're talking about, and carrying on with business as usual.
Okay, so what is this? This is some kind of handgun that has like a defect? Is that what he's referring to? Is that what we're talking about here?
But just this past week, an airman was shot and unfortunately died from his wounds when he placed his duty weapon, the SIG P320, on a desk and it fired, fatally wounding him. And it's gotten so bad that the Air Force...
Yeah, that's why they say, never point a weapon at yourself or anyone else. Ugh, when stuff like this happens, oh no. I mean, as a police officer, I'm sure they have to keep the gun loaded, but that's a problem. That's a major problem. Ooh.
Force even put out an official memo saying that nobody's to carry the SIG P320, also known as the M17 or M18, until further notice. So today we're going to talk about the history of SIG getting the Army's contract, and well, all of the Department of Defense's contracting for this sidearm, the issues that many people brought up, SIG's response, and then this unfortunate occurrence that resulted in the death of an airman. But first, a word from this video's sponsor.
No! Ads!
There's companies out there.
Ad! No ad. No ad. No ad. No ad.
Below.
Chapter 1, the beginning.
The U.S. military wanted a new sidearm to replace the M9. This bad guy here. Made by Beretta.
Okay, my question is, why did they want to replace this? Well, what's wrong with the original? Well, what's wrong with this one? Why did they need to replace that one?
Something I carried overseas, and frankly, I loved so much that I had to buy my own. But who is in the running for this? Well, SIG, Glock, and Beretta were the main top players in this. And Beretta had an updated version of their fantastic M9A1, one that had a mount for an optic, that had a little rail system on the bottom, so that way you could put a light on it when you're clearing rooms.
That's useful.
One of the reasons the M9 was able to stick around for such a long time is because it's durable. And the Army...
If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Why replace a good gun that works just fine with something that's brand new, and then we got this problem? Sounds like they, who made the gun could be sued after. Yeah. The upgrade. It's not an upgrade, it's a fail. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Certainly loves a safety on its pistols. Now the Beretta is double action. Check that out. So when you fire off the first round, the trigger squeeze is a little rough because you're pulling the hammer back. But bam! After that first round goes off, the slide keeps that hammer in the rear lock position. Now pretend you're a private in the Army who hasn't really handled a pistol that much before, especially a Beretta M9. Well, you take that selector switch after firing some rounds and you put it on safe, and you're gonna have a mild heart attack. Because you better be ready for that hammer to go forward. Sends shivers up my spine thinking about the several times that I first tried that. Now, why is that important? Well, the safety rolls over the firing pin, and even though the hammer goes forward, it won't fire, which is an important thing when making a firearm for the military or anybody.
Okay, never mind. I guess it was broken. Okay, this makes sense. They're trying to improve upon a weapon that has a flaw that, again, could be very dangerous. If you're in a shooting situation, you fire a weapon, it doesn't go bang bang, it will lead to you possibly getting injured or killed by the opposing firer of other gunners. Okay, so yeah, okay, apparently this baby did need to be replaced. Please, but also, skipping, in a video, I believe it's called a sponsor block. That's why you don't upgrade things, so that it works. Apparently it didn't. Hi there, welcome.
Else, that it doesn't go off accidentally.
Ooh.
Message. And of course, we've got Glock in the mix with the Glock 19X. 9mm. I mean, no, there's no external safety in here, but I've been able to drop a Glock every now and again when tussling with some guys on the street, banging off some shit.
I have to ask Truckerman. I'm not very proficient in names of the boom sticks, but is it this one, or do we have something similar to this? Hey, the one I'm looking at over here on the TV. Yo, you'll have to tell me that. I don't know names of the guns. Lucky police are not using this gun, or they could be a risk for many misfire situations. Yes, but apparently what they replaced it with is actually just as bad, if not worse.
And I'm running around chasing them as well. I have never heard of a Glock going off just because you jostled the shit out of it.
Ooh.
I mean, it's probably the most widely used handgun in law enforcement, and I can't think of a story where one's accidentally gone off before. But did the Army go with its old fantastic standard with a new updated sleek kind of body and that mount? No, it didn't. Did it go with probably the most modularization or modularized or whatever thing the Army says that it likes so much? Is it modularity, modularization, whatever? The Lego block of all pistols? So customizable. No, it didn't. It went with SEG. Because they were more modular than this? All right.
Second, the beginning of the end. So they had two other options. Apparently the one brown one was the best option because it had little to no issues or problems. The other one was a little bit janky at times and would lock up. Okay. But instead, they go with this one that apparently can just fire whenever. What the heffel?
So here we are, January 2017, and SIG has won the bid to create the next pistol that's going to be pushed across all the Department of Defense. And of course, once something gets picked up by our federal government in such a mass amount and quantity, well, there are going to be other people that are going to want that same firearm. And that's exactly what happened.
That doggy! Doggy, stop it! Mush! Mushy! Mushy, come here! Mushy! Sorry about that. Give my dog a second. He's being a ham. Alright. Now shut up.
Police agencies and other federal law enforcement agencies said, well, if this pistol's been tested so rigorously that it would win the Department of Defense's contract, well, it certainly must be good enough for us. So not only do you have the Department of Defense, now you've got tons of federal agencies and other law enforcement agencies.
Ignore the doggy. He's not involved in the boomstick.
Picking up these pistols, handling them, using them, and running around on duty, and it's getting its wear and tear on exponentially more than any sort of government testing facility could do. And almost immediately, rumors start spreading. Firearms forums, Reddit threads. A low rumbling is starting to grow over the concerns of the SIG P320 and how if you drop it, it will fire. And what happens with rumors that start...
Okay, so... you got a loaded gun. You drop it. Okay. You got loaded one of these guns. You drop it. It go bang. That is a major problem, wouldn't you say?
On the internet, well, they grow and eventually they become science experiments for YouTubers. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a gun YouTube channel is grabbing a bunch of 9mm blanks, putting them into the SIG P320 and dropping it to see if it does actually fire when it's dropped. And my, oh my, were the results astounding.
We found in our testing that the P320 will fire if it is dropped at a certain angle. This angle is not found in any of the previously mentioned drop tests.
Drop test and the .40 caliber. It's got a prime case.
Be careful.
And a dummy round on top with a full magazine underneath. Son of a bitch.
That could have shot you,
I
dude.
guess it's really not drop safe, huh? That's not just a bunch of
One round. That was the very first time we'd ever done it, and it went bang.
We went out, we bought a brand new, never fired, fresh from the box, P320. All right, ready?
Now when you start getting viral videos amassing tens of millions of views about how
Don't do this at home. You better believe Trucker Man and I would not attempt something like this. I mean, buying a gun in itself is expensive already. I don't think we would do drop tests with our guns that we have around here. That would be a bad idea. You never wanna mess around with something like that.
your product is kind of going off whenever it's dropped, well, you want to make a response. And
Ouch, my
SIG's
leg.
response was the VUP, the Voluntary Upgrade Program. No, it didn't say that, hey, if you drop our pistols, they'll go off and we're looking into it and we'll make sure we fix it. No.
Okay, in the car industry, that would be something called a recall. Those guns need to be recalled immediately. Ouch, my legs. Imagine the guy who have those guns strapped by oh yeah, and it just gets gently tapped. Yeah, that would, yeah, you got shot in your balls.
They say this is a voluntary upgrade program where you can turn in your pistol or receive the parts to upgrade and, I won't say replace, but replace your trigger, the sear, and striker assembly, which all improve, and I quote, the drop safety and prevent unintentional firing.
It improves it.
It's almost like they had a problem with that.
No good for him.
Now, you would hope that the VUP, the Voluntary Upgrade Program, would have solved
like,
all of SIG's problems.
Actually,
Hey,
you're
here's a
right.
free-
You're right. Here, story time real quick. We have a cat, not Broccoli, not my good fluffy boy, not my good old fluffy kitty. We got our other cat, Raffy, who likes to go around the TV stand. I remember a couple of days ago, luckily we do not keep our gun loaded. I actually talked Trucker Man out of doing that because I was thinking that's not a good idea. I mean, yeah, safety and junk. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to load a gun if you need to, but I'm glad I talked him out of it. Of course, I don't think our gun's one of these kind of guns that if you drop it's going to fire, but our cat Raffy walked around the TV stand and she pushed and knocked over the gun we have there. So yeah, and I just remember at one point Bryce was looking and he saw the gun on the floor. He's like, "Why is the gun on the floor?" And I was like, "Oh, not the cat. The cat wants to kill you." So
The
yeah.
upgrade to your pistol, come on and get it. We're making things better for you. We're up in the base model for free for you, because you're such a good guy. But even after all that, it somehow got worse for SIG. But how? How could that possibly happen? Well, more and more people were reporting that it was starting to go off on its own. Not even dropping it, just firing. That's right, a pistol.
Not even dropping it. Just randomly firing for no reason. Demons have possessed these guns, y'all. So, demon-possessed guns. You could get yourself killed. Cat wants to learn to use the gun. Sure she does.
Sitting there, in a holster, on a desk. No finger or anything anywhere near the trigger. And it's suddenly going off? That sounds impossible,
sounds the
some would
bad.
say. And I'm sure SIG thought that. There's no possible way that any of this is actually real. Except one little thing happened.
Ooh.
You remember earlier when I said that once the Department of Defense got those firearms, well, a lot of law enforcement agencies thought, hey, It's been tested by the government already, vigorously. Why don't we take it on as our department duty weapon?
Never get a gun made by China. I'm sorry. I don't know if they are, but that'd be kind of hilarious and also kind of, I don't know, kind of suspicious if those guns were made in China. Just SIG guns. So the gun has become an alarm clock now. Oh no.
Well,
No.
a lot of police officers wear body cams, don't they? And
Oh.
if you're a police officer in a department that wears body cams, and a department that has taken on the SIG P320 as their duty pistol, well then you've got the perfect storm
Suga's
of
made by
accountability
India.
in the form of video
Thank you
and
for letting me
audio
know. I was about to
recording
look that
and
up.
the potential of a firearm that may potentially kind of go off by itself. Now evidence is no longer a problem because police body cameras begin to record the SIG P320's random discharges of rounds while in a holster, while just sitting there doing absolutely nothing and then going off. And because it's
Yeah, that's a good way to get yourself killed. You got a gun randomly in your holster, shoot you just right in the thigh, and you bleed out because it hits one of those arteries. Ooh. So it's made in India. India doesn't have the best track record either, but yeah.
police department, they're notated. Uh-oh. Now we got video, audio, and we actually have a paper trail of these things happening with internal documents from law enforcement agencies about the pistol going off during training events when they're on the range or in a courthouse or even when they're effecting an arrest inside of a police station.
God.
Now the evidence is undeniable to SIG. So undeniable that all these agencies dropped the figuratively and literally, the SIG P320 from being their duty weapons.
Good.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission, the Vancouver Police Department in Canada, Oregon State Training Agencies, the U.S. Air Force Global Strike Command, only recently after one of its troops died because the SIG P320 went off. But SIG made it worse. How did they make it worse? Well, they blamed...
How does this get worse? Oh, hello, bots. The bots like being very chatty on Kick. Let's see, talk about shooting yourself on the foot. Ouchies. A hostage situation can become more problematic if that gun fires. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of problems with this. There's just hundreds of problems with this. This piece should not be allowed just to be sold at all. It needs a complete recall. I should try Kick sometimes. Yeah, you could hang out with all the random bots that are going moo.
the consumer.
Chapter 4, SIG's a post.
On March 7th, 2025, SIG was tired of it all. SIG decided that they were going to put out a post on Twitter and Instagram, all over the social medias, and say, enough is enough. It ends now, if I'm not mistaken. Which, hindsight being 2020, sure doesn't look too good right now. But let's read through it together, shall we? 6 out. The P320 cannot, under any circumstances, discharge without a trigger pull. This is a fact.
Ooh.
Is
yes.
it? Yep.
Yes, don't. You sound so much like a liberal right now. You're spouting false informations that you're claiming as facts when people already have evidence that your weapons are doing just that. Yeah.
Allegations against the P320 are nothing more than individuals seeking to profit or avoid personal responsibility. Couldn't happen to be just people that got shot.
I don't think this detective who shattered her f***ing femur was anti-gun. She might be anti-SIG now. In February 2018, her holstered original version of the P320 discharged without a trigger pull as she jostled the holster to remove it from her belt. X-rays showed that her femur had been severed in half with shards of bone fragments and substantial shrapnel left in her right leg, as seen here. What an anti-gun grifter.
Sheesh. Wait, she was anti-gun too, and she had like the worst possible gun, the type of gun to be anti about. I am anti-Siga, the Signa, whatever the brand this is. Ugh. I hope we don't have any of those. Trucker man, if you can hear me, do we have any of these guns? I don't think we do. Luckily. I just wanted to know. I don't think you can reply. You're probably off in the world, going vroom vroom.
Anti-gun groups, members of the mainstream media, trial attorneys, and other uninformed and agenda-driven parties have launched attacks on the 6 sellers most...
Never mind, he answered. No, thank you, Chucky. Okay, we do not own any of these Siggy guns, so that's good to know. Well, so if you want to get a gun that is new, make sure it does not have that upgrade. Make sure it's not Siggy.
Trusted, most tested, and most popular product, the P320 pistol. In all cases, these individuals have an ulterior motive behind their baseless allegations that the P320 can fire without a trigger pull. They have no evidence, no data, and no empirical testing to support any of their claims. They instead chose to misrepresent clear, negligent discharges as a, quote, design problem. Which, by the way, you did come up with a design solution and called it the VUP. Sig went on to say, in the decades since its introduction, the P320 has undergone the most rigorous testing and evaluation of any firearm by military and law enforcement agencies around the world. It consistently delivers a proven record of performance and reliability through state-of-the-art engineering and documented quality control at every stage of its production. Rigorous testing, yes. You know, you can go through rigorous testing and it can still be like, I can go through rigorous testing and take the bar exam and I can still fail it. So really, rigorous testing doesn't mean shit unless you learn from that rigorous testing. Like, I don't know, tens of thousands of firearms going out into the public and them using it and then finding out that it accidentally detonates all by itself. That would be rigorous.
You know what I want to know? I want to know why and how a gun design like this randomly fires. How did they accomplish this? And is it a conspiracy to kill our people? Random conspiracy flash there. Just entertainment, though. Don't take anything I say seriously. Yeah, we gotta say that nowadays, because no one knows what sarcasm is anymore. Yeah. Goodness, buy a Siggy for... I am not gonna buy a Siggy for fun.
Would it not? And speaking of rigorous, did you ever just drop it? Did you ever just drop it? Did you ever just f***ing drop it? Huh, clear
Drop
negligent
it
discharges. Is this a negligent discharge? Discharges
Sarcasm,
where
common
nobody's touching
sense.
the firearm,
Everything.
nobody's fingers in the trigger, and it just goes off? Discharges when people are putting it in the holster, finger not in the trigger whatsoever, and when it locks in, it goes off? Or when they're just standing there and it just goes off? That's their fault. That's their fault? Claims that unintended discharges are anything more than negligent handing.
Man, this is the kind of people that tick me off. When they clearly have something wrong with their product and they do not take responsibility for it. No, it's not our fault. It's not our fault that there's this weird defect that our guns fire randomly. How do you even accomplish that? Is there a chip in these guns? Is this something that's controlled? That's something I want to know. This sounds so weird. How do you accomplish this? Fix your product.
And or manufactured lies to support an anti-gun, anti-SIG agenda are false. Furthermore, lawsuits claiming that the P320 is capable of firing without the trigger being pulled have been dismissed in courtrooms around the country. In addition, multiple plaintiffs, so-called experts, have conceded it is not possible for the P320 to discharge unless the trigger is fully actuated. Is it? The rhetoric is high and we can no longer stay silent while lawsuits run their course and clickbait, farming engagement, hacking grifters continue their campaign to hijack the truth for profit. Enough is enough.
No.
From the courts of law to the court of public opinion, we will combat the lies and misinformation with the truth. 6 Hour stands behind the quality, safety, and design of all of our products, especially the P320. And then they say that, you know, the industry should be scared and aware that people are going after SIG for no reason. Because they could be next. They could be next on the chopping block.
No. This is not the same. This is not an anti-gun thingy. I'm pro-guns here. I am anti-horrible manufacturing. Fix your stuff. Make a recall. Stop sitting there and saying it's other people's fault. I hate this kind of stuff where they sit there and blame others for their own mistakes. Especially when these mistakes are not just hearsay, it's video evidence of all of it. And death. Anti-BS. Yes, Sheepy. Me, but he planned the gun. I was gonna have some kind of DLC in the future. Huh. Deal. Yeah, this is just the beta version of the gun right now. You can download the DLC.
But all of that context now brings us here today. Because the headquarters of the Air Force Global Strike Command put out a memo just the other day after one of their airmen was killed when he put his firearm on his desk and it discharged. All by
Poor
itself.
guy.
What a... how strange. I thought
More
SIG said
senseless
a
death.
P320 couldn't do that. Immediate action required, effective immediately. All personnel in AFGSC will pause use of the M18 MHS for all operational and training activities until further notice. This pause will remain in place until completion of ongoing AFOSI and safety investigations into a recent incident at FE Warren Air Force Base. Wing commanders and DFCs will arm personnel with the M4 rifle in place of the M18. By the way,
Something sad, though, they had video evidence that the gun was faulty, but they only just now took it away when it cost someone their life. That's kind of the Schmidt. Very, very shitty.
the M18 is the military nomenclature, the number that it's assigned to as a property item that the military uses for the SIG P320. So when you hear M18 or M17, that's just the normal version and the short barrel version of the SIG P320 made for the military. And at this moment, there is an Army unit that is doing the same. I just don't have confirmation of the Army unit that's doing that. So here we are, with all this history of the SIG P320 going off, them trying to make changes with the VUP, them going after everybody in their frickin' comment section of social media saying it's not our fault, nothing's happened. And then an avalanche of video evidence coming in showing SIG that there is an issue with it going off. Culminates in, unfortunately, the death of an airman, and now the Air Force and the DoD taking note. I mean, all these other law enforcement agencies, including ICE, already took note and said, we're not dealing with this. We'll go to something else. But now...
Yeah, that's the smart thing. Don't buy a product that is faulty and use it, especially when they sit there and they have the evidence that's faulty and they sit there, oh no, we did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong here. I hate it that so many companies these days make so bad products. Yeah. It just... it's a lot of stuff nowadays is kind of been cheaply made.
Even the Air Force is saying, what the is going on? Even SIG had a response to the airman who unfortunately lost his life. Our hearts are with the service members and families impacted by the recent reporting event at the FE Warren Air Force Base. We proactively offered assistance to the U.S. military as they investigate the incident and remain willing to help in furtherance of their ongoing inquiry. We have absolute confidence in the military's ability to conduct a thorough investigation and are working with the Air Force and Army to answer any of their questions.
Yeah, how messed up would that be? Oh, sorry, your husband died, but he didn't die in duty. He died because of a faulty weapon. I hope that family got some kind of compensation, and I don't mean from the Air Force, probably from them too, but definitely that company needs to be sued.
I guess my question, if I was the Secretary of Defense, after knowing about all these discharges caused and only caused by your weapon and its manufacturing, why didn't you remove those issues and fix them immediately, even as they continued to occur?
Livid, yes.
And then, why wouldn't you notify the Department of Defense or other law enforcement officials that there was some sort of deficiency in your firearm, but you were working quickly in order to modify your weapon and solve that issue. Well, it almost seems as though you've been intentionally negligent in sharing this information with everybody about your product that fires rounds off all by itself. Now, I don't...
And ultimately, again, I know this is just my conspiracy theory here. Take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like it's being done on purpose to weaken our forces. Just throwing that out there. Entertainment purposes only. Yama yama.
know how
But
Sig's going to
it's a,
recover from this.
feature.
Frankly, my opinion
The feature
is that
of
it should
death.
be pulled. And then we go with the freaking Glock.
Yeah,
You want
Glocky.
modular? There's modular. Like I said,
I think this is the guy we have. I think this is the gun that I'm looking at over there. I think that's the one we have.
it's a freaking Lego. Do you know how many
Lego.
third-party companies there are that make additional add-ons for this thing? And you decided that Sig was going to be the most modular firearm ever? Come on, DOD. No, I know people that like Sig, and I know people that know the P320 is an issue, but like other firearms, like the P325 and other from Sig, I personally, and I'm sure many other people, probably don't want to put their money on a product where the company's entire existence is to make it shoot only when you want it to shoot. And
It's the portable version of the suicide booth from Futurama. Ha ha ha. You're paying to potentially get you or your family killed. Yeah, that's great.
then when it doesn't, they deny, and then act like spoiled children, blaming us
It's gun
for their
controlled
product that's
by
broken.
the aliens.
Well, Sig,
yeah, by
I hope you're happy.
demons.
We all knew eventually it was going to happen, that somebody was going to get shot and they weren't going to make it back from your pistol design that decides that it's going to randomly fire when it wants to. Honestly, I don't think anybody gives a about how it feels in your hands if they're not sure when it's going to go off. These
Right.
night sights are great, but I sure wish I knew when it would go off. Oh, there was one. Mom? Updates. We have updates. Do you
Oh, we
remember
got
how I
updates.
said that? YouTubers will take items and things that they see and try to prove that something can or can't happen.
Oh no, I know where this is going. Some YouTube wanted to test the Siggy, and he accidentally shot himself or someone else. Either death or injury. Let's find out how bad it is.
Happened with them. Basically a science experiment on the internet for all of us to see. Well, some beautiful bastard did it with the Sig P320. Wyoming Gun Project. Go to his channel after this. Go to the link down below. I'll have the whole video linked. Took his own Sig P320 that he bought and decided he would do some experimenting. Now, the Sig that he has in his hot little hands right there is the Sig P320 after the VUP, the Voluntary Update Program. The one that's supposed to fix the trigger and stop it from going off randomly.
When you have an update for a gun, you know there's problems. No worse. Oh, no worse? Oh no. This is gonna end badly. Oh no, what could be worse?
Oh, this beautiful bastard did it. And by taking a screw, and I forget what those calipers are called that measure millimeters and thousandths of an inch, slowly moves the trigger back less than a millimeter, less than half of a millimeter, and then starts playing around with the slide. Guess what happens? It goes off. Then he puts a blank round into the chamber, puts the magazine in, keeps that trigger pulled back just a hair of a half, and then manipulates the slide, and guess what happens? It goes off. Now,
Sheesh.
WGP, Wyoming Gun Project here, cracked the code. And frankly, he does a great job of saying it himself, but I'll try to break it down for you. Do you know how easy it is for a trigger to be pulled back a half of a millimeter? Do you then know how
Very
easy it is for a
easy?
slide to be torqued left or right as if a police officer...
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, so this guy, he professionally messed with the gun and did it safely. Okay, so that's not worse, that's better. That means he did things smart and he found all the ways that this thing just randomly goes off on its own. Woof.
Officers running with it in their
Yes,
holster?
yay.
Very easy. I'm surprised you can't just jump up and down and have the thing go off. Which, by the way, I'm sure if somebody put it on some sort of tumbler or a dryer that's going a little heavy,
Why
like
would
what
you have
your
a gun
mom
in a
used to sit on
dryer?
in order to get her job.
Oh, if you have it on top of a dryer. Oh. Yeah, just don't leave your guns loaded, I guess. Sheesh. He improved the gun? No. He found out how easy it is that it goes off. Just from the slightest torques. Like the slightest pinch of the trigger, the slightest movement of the little the slidey thing, and it just goes off that easy. That's definitely an issue. Oh my god, lucky he did not hurt himself. Yeah, he was doing it smart. He had the gun pointing away from him, and he was using blanks. Oh, my mistake. That's okay. Any animals as pets can fire this gun? Yes, like I said, if I had this gun on my TV stand, it was loaded, my cat randomly jumps up, knocks it down, falls to the floor, it's gonna go off. It's gonna potentially kill my cat, kill me, kill my hubby, or kill my stuff. Maybe everything.
Off. I'm surprised it wouldn't go off then, and I'm sure that we'll get more videos of it doing just that, jostling around and then firing. But like Wyoming Gun Project said, just a small amount of dust or crud or crap gets stuck in the trigger and pulls it back just that half of a millimeter, and then the slide moves. Just shifted to the left or right a little, and pow. I hope
it's that easy.
Somebody connects with the poor mother and father of that airman that lost his life because the frickin' firearm went off when he put it down on his desk, which I know right now is very little public information other than he just said it down on his desk and it went off. But at this moment, nobody from the military or anybody that was there or any investigator are correcting what people are saying. Holy shit. That video is amazing. Please watch it. It's 40 minutes of absolute brilliance, and he breaks down exactly what he does in order to make it go off, which is easy, extremely simple for it to go off all on its own. Best way to support the channel is to get yourself a shirt. This old crack house.
Go support this guy. He made some really good content. I really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, Loco, for your doody-doo. Now, this will be the last video of the day, mainly because I am having issues recording. Mainly because, unfortunately, it is really hard for me to get privacy. And my mother's off work. My cousin is coming in and out of the house. There's a lot of noise. I had some other videos I wanted to share today, but no, everyone has to be so freaking noisy. So I need to get going, I guess. We'll see you all tomorrow. I need to get ready for the Demon Slayer movie anyway when Trucker Man gets off work. Love you all. Thank you so much. We'll have videos for you tomorrow and Sunday. Yeah, bye. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It would make me very happy. Kiss, kiss.